Hey everybody, Coach here. Man, I hope that your work week, if you're a Monday through Friday person, was a good one and a safe one, and you have a chance to kick back and join me for just a couple of minutes. I really appreciate it. Hey, today I thought I would discuss a very easy and simple turf care maintenance system that I learned many years ago and have used it for decades. A very easy way to shorten times, to remember when to do certain things, and to be able to care for your turf to such a level that you have a very nice front and back lawn, and probably the lawn that is the envy of the neighborhood. Hey, if this interests you, stick around, stick till the end of the video. I appreciate you being here. Let's get started right now, shall we? Maestro, do your thing. Hey, I'm Matt and you can call me Coach. You know, every week, every Friday, I bring to you landscape tips and tricks, design concepts, maintenance tips, and landscape theory that is put in a way that I hope is a simple, easy to understand format so you can tackle projects yourself, get professional results that you really want, save a boatload of money, and be self-reliant in this day and age. You know, after the past 20 years, as a successful designer, contractor, retail nursery manager, college educated and ornamental hort, I think I bring with me a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge that I want to impart on you, the modern, self-reliant homeowner of today. Okay, so let's get started. What we're going to call this today is I'm going to give you the 411 on the 412. That's basically what it is. And I learned this system many years ago during agronomy class in college, and it's called the 412 method. Now, what is the 412? It's very simplistic. 4 times a year we feed. Once a week we mow. Every other year, every second year, we aerate. That's it. That's all there is to it. And the reason it is so simple is because, I don't know, some people equate it to calling information, the old 411. And it's the 412 method. And it's stuck in my head for some reason, and I've applied it to every lawn I have ever had in my grown-up life as a homeowner, also as clients' yards. Now, little disclaimer. Everybody's place is different. You live in different parts of the country or world. You have different types of lawn. You have fescues and zoysias and St. Augustines and centipede grass and bluegrass and Chewing's fescue and tall fescue and dwarf fescues. But as a rule, this system applies to all of them. It really does. I don't think I've had a lawn yet that I've had some sort of personal or professional contact with that this system did not work. And I've had Bermuda lawns, I've had fescues and dwarf fescues and bluegrasses, and they've always worked. And they've always looked pretty darn good. And I've had compliments from my neighbors over the years on how in the hell, Matt, do you keep your lawn so damn nice? You don't have weeds, you don't have nothing. It was always working well. So how do you remember about the 4 in the 412? Well, the way I was taught is it basically follows the seasonal equinoxes to a degree. You know, you're going to apply your first fertilizer of the year. You know, you're coming out of winter, you're almost to spring. That spring equinox is in March. So late February, early March, you're doing your first feeding. Now, I am not sponsored by Scott's, but I have used Scott's products religiously over the years. And the Scott's Turf Builder Plus Halts, which has a pre-emergent built into it, is always the one that I used in late February and early March. And I applied that, and it greened up the dormant bluegrass, dormant fescue lawns really quick, and it lasted all through spring without any problem. Now, when's the second one? Duh, almost the summer equinox. So late May, early June, that's when the second feeding goes on. And I would use a Scott's Summer Lawn Food. That's what I gravitated to. Originally it was just the turf builder. Now it's just summer lawn food, but it's essentially the same thing. And that would take it through the hot Central Valley of Northern California, the hot times when the cool season grasses like fescues and bluegrasses kind of went into kind of a semi-dormancy because they're not a 90+ degree, 100-degree type of lawn. They really almost shut down, almost like winter. And it would keep it green. It would have the root zone perfectly fed, and then as you turn that corner from summer and go into fall, and now you're getting into mid to late September, the lawn was still in good shape. And I would do my third, and that one would be a fall and winter feed, and then I would do another fall and winter feed right around Thanksgiving going into December. Now by the time the winter equinox hit, it was sometimes too wet and too cold. Not every year. Some years I could delay it without any problem, but for the most part, it was between Thanksgiving and the second week of December. That was probably most of the time, that's when I did it. And then that would carry over to the next year. So there's your 4 times. Now, if you're in some of the northern latitudes, your growing season is kind of compressed. And I know that because I have family in the northern tier states. And so your first one may not be until late April. And then you may have one in late June and then late September. And then heck, by the time you come around to that late fall feeding, you're going to have to gauge it. You know, maybe late October, you got a good day or a week or so, and there's your fall and winter feeding right there. All right, let's move on. The number one in 412 always revolved around weekly maintenance. And why do I say weekly maintenance? Because grass is a plant just like a shrub and a tree. It is. It's just another plant animal. And it does not want to have 4 and 5 inches worth of growth from neglect of mowing for 2 to 3 weeks. And then you come in with a mower in June and it's 90 degrees out and you butcher that thing down to 1.5 inches. You're going to fry the root zone, you know, and the thatch layer. You're going to scald the lawn and you're going to have major problems. But if you practice the once a week mow and you're taking no more than like 1/3 of the green off, you're really balancing that root zone very nicely. What you have above is what you have below. So this one here isn't working overtime to try and take care of this. So that's why you want to do that once a week, weekly maintenance mowing. And remember, you know, and check out the other video I did about routines, you know, the maintenance routines. And if you're part of the Yard Coach crew, you get that weekly newsletter that had that in depth as far as developing that landscape routine. But the number one, you know, the number one of the 412 is a weekly mow. Do not take any more than 1/3 off. And your summer height versus your winter and fall and spring heights are always going to vary, but they're not going to vary too much more than 1 inch. They're really not. You start whacking it way down low for winter, it doesn't do anything any good. You know, you're going to keep that 2-inch layer, maybe a summer layer of 3 inches, and you'll be good. Okay, let's move on to the 2 of the 412, and that is aeration. In many places have hard compacted soils that you probably had to prepare and put in some organic amendments and really kind of get the lawn bed up and running nutrients wise and soil wise. Well, over the years that whatever you rototilled in breaks down, is used up, worms, mycorrhiza, all the other stuff takes care of that stuff and it goes away. And if you have kids and they're out running around or dogs are running around and you're compacting that soil week after week after week, it does it really good every other year to put an aerator on it. You can hire somebody to do it. You can go down to the local rental yard and rent it, have it over and done with within 4 hours total, as long as you don't have 2 acres to aerate. And what that does is it'll bring those cores up out of the lawn, make your lawn look really funny for a little while. You let them dry out, rake them up, or you can let them dry out and mow them. and then come through with a peat moss or a compost, and let that compost sift down in to those core holes that are created, and then come through with a good watering and a good feeding, and you will see a huge regeneration of your lawn and your lawn's health. You can reseed then if you're a seeder. I'm not a seeder, I'm a sod guy, but you can reseed it at the same time and do a nice compost top dressing or a peat moss top dressing on it, and voila, you know, you will really regenerate that lawn. So guys, 4-1-2, commit it to memory. 4 times a year we feed, once a week we mow, and twice every other year is your aeration, and you'll have a banger, just an absolute banger of a lawn, front or back. Hey, I'm Matt. Call me coach. I sure appreciate you sticking with the end. Don't forget to check out some of the other videos that I have for you. Lots of education out there. And if you have questions, if you have comments, man, drop them down. If you want to contact me, the email is always listed in the bottom of the video. And check out the podcast if you're on the go. You know, I'm also over on Reddit at Our Yard Coach. If you want to message me personally, I always respond to everything that comes in on Reddit and the email as well. Don't forget the DIY checklist. Guys, take care. I'll see you next week. Appreciate you being here.